Ravana in the south was met at the Jewish feast. 2. Ravana was a man of wealth, and he was just, and with a band of Brahmic priests sought wisdom in the west. 3. When Jesus stood among the Jewish priests and read and spoke, Ravana heard and was amazed. 4. And when he asked who Jesus was, from whence he came, and what he was, Chief Hillel said, 5. We call this the day star from on high, for he has come to bring to man the light of life, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Israel. 6. And Hillel told Ravana all about the child, about the prophecies concerning him, about the wonders of the night when he was born, about the visit of the Magian priests. 7. About the way in which he was protected from the wrath of evil men, about his flight to Egypt land, and how he then was serving with his father as a carpenter in Nazareth. 8. Ravana was entranced and asked to know the way to Nazareth, that he might go and honor such a one as Son of Allah. 9. And with his gorgeous train he journeyed and came to Nazareth of Galilee. 10. He found the objects of his search engaged in building dwellings for the sons of men. 11. And when he first saw Jesus, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass, square, and axe. 12. Ravana said, All hail, most favored son of heaven. 13. And at the inn, Ravana made a feast for all the people of the town, and Jesus and his parents were the honored guests. 14. For certain days, Ravana was a guest in Joseph's home on Mariam Way. He sought to learn the secret of the wisdom of the son, but it was all too great for him. 15. And then he asked that he might be the patron of the child, might take him to the east where he could learn the wisdom of the Brahms. 16. And Jesus longed to go that he might learn, and after many days his parents gave consent. 17. Then, with proud heart, Ravana with his train began the journey toward the rising sun. And after many days they crossed the sand and reached the provinces of Orissa and the palace of the prince. 18. The Brahmic priests were glad to welcome home the prince. With favor they received the Jewish boy. 19. And Jesus was accepted as a pupil in the temple of the Jagannath. And here he learned the Vedas and the Manic law. 20. The Brahmic masters wondered at the clear conceptions of the child and often were amazed when he explained to them the meaning of the law. Chapter 7. The friendship of Jesus and Lammas. Jesus explains to Lammas the meaning of truth. 1. Among the priests of Jagannath was one who loved the Jewish boy. Lammas Brahmas was the name by which the priest was known. 2. One day as Jesus and Lammas walked alone in Plaza Jagannath, Lammas said, My Jewish master, what is truth? 3. And Jesus said, Truth is the only thing that changes not. 4. In all the world there are two things. The one is truth, the other is falsehood, and falsehood that which seems to be. 5. And now truth is aught and has no cause, and yet it is the cause of everything. 6. Falsehood is not, and yet it is the manifest of right. 7. Whatever has been made will be unmade. That which begins must end. 8. All things that can be seen by human eyes are manifests of aught are not, and so must pass away. 9. The things we see are but reflexes just appearing, while the ethers vibrate so, and when conditions change, they disappear. 10. The holy breath is truth, is that which was, and is, and evermore shall be. It cannot change, nor pass away. 11. Lammas said, You answer well, now what is man? 12. And Jesus said, Man is the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. 13. Man is the breath made flesh, so truth and falsehood are conjoined in him, and they strive, and naught goes down, and man as truth abides. 14. Again Lammas asked, What do you say of power? 15. And Jesus said, It is manifest, is the result of force, it is but not, it is illusion, nothing more. Force changes, not, but power changes as the ethers change. 16. Force is the will of Allah and is omnipotent, and power is that will in manifest directed by the breath. 17. There is power in the winds, a power in the waves, a power in the lightning strike, a power in the human arm, a power in the eye. 18. The ethers cause these powers to be, and thought of Elohim, of angel, man, or other thinking things direct the force. When it has done its work, the power is no more. 19. Again Lammas asked, Of understanding, what have you to say? 20. And Jesus said, It is the rock on which man builds himself. It is the gnosis of the ought and of the not, of falsehood and of truth. 21. It is the knowledge of the lower self, the sensing of the powers of man himself. 22. Again Lammas asked, Of wisdom, what have you to say? 23. And Jesus said, It is the consciousness that man is aught, that Allah and man are one. 24. That not is not, that power is but illusion, that heaven and earth and hell are not above, around, below, but in, which in the light of aught becomes the not, and Allah is all. 25. Lammas asked, Pray, what is faith? 26. And Jesus said, faith is the surety of the omnipotence of Allah and man, the certainty that man will reach the deific life. 27. Salvation is a ladder reaching from the heart of man to the heart of Allah. 28. It has 3 steps. Belief is first, and this is what man thinks perhaps is truth. 29. And faith is next, and this is what man knows is truth. 30. Fruition is the last, and this is man himself, the truth. 31. Belief is lost in faith, and in fruition, faith is lost, and man is saved when he has reached deific life, when he and Allah are one. Chapter 8. Jesus reveals to the people of their sinful ways. 1. In all the cities of Orissa, Jesus taught at Katak by the riverside. He taught and thousands of people followed him. 2. One day a car of Jagannath was hauled along by scores of frenzied men, and Jesus said, 3. Behold, a form without a spirit passes by, a body with no soul, a temple with no altar fires. 4. This car of Krishna is an empty thing, for Krishna is not there. 5. This car is but an idol of people drunk on wine of carnal things. 6. Allah lives not in the noise of tongues. There is no way to him from any idol shrine. 7. Allah's meeting place with man is in the heart, and in a still small voice he speaks, and he who hears is still. 8. And all the people said, teach us to know the Holy One who speaks within the heart, Allah of the still small voice. 9. And Jesus said, the holy breath cannot be seen with mortal eyes, nor can men see the spirits of the Holy One. 10. But in their image man was made, and he who looks into the face of man looks at the images of Allah who speaks within. 11. And when man honors man, he honors Allah, and what man does for man, he does for Allah. 12. And you must bear in mind that when man harms in thought or word or deed another man, he does a wrong to Allah. 13. If you would serve the Allah who speaks within the heart, just serve your near of kin, and those that are no kin, the stranger at your gates, the foe who seeks to do you harm. 14. Assist the poor and help the weak. Do harm to none and covet not what is not yours. 15. Then with your tongue the Holy One will speak, and he will smile behind your tears, will light your countenance with joy, and fill your hearts with peace. 16. And then the people asked, to whom shall we bring gifts? Where shall we offer sacrifice? 17. And Jesus said, our Father Allah asks not for needless waste of plant, of grain, of dove, of lamb. 18. That which you burn on any shrine you throw away. No blessing can attend the one who takes the food from hungry mouths to be destroyed by fire. 19. When you would offer sacrifice unto Allah, just take your gift of grain or meat and lay it on the table of the poor. 20. From it an incense will rise to heaven, which will return to you with blessedness. 21. Tear down your idols, they can hear you not. Turn all your sacrificial altars into fuel for flames. 22. Make human hearts your altars and burn your sacrifices with the fire of love. 23. And all the people were entranced and would have worshipped Jesus as God. But Jesus said, 24. I am your brother, man, just come to show the way to Allah. You shall not worship man, praise Allah, the Holy One. Chapter 9. Jesus attends a feast in Bahar, and here he taught human equality. 1. The fame of Jesus as a teacher spread through all the land, and people came from near and far to hear his words of truth. 2. At Bahar, on the sacred river of the Brahms, he taught for many days. 3. And Ak, a wealthy man of Bahar, made a feast in honor of his guests, and he invited everyone to come. 4. And many came, among them thieves, extortioners, and courtesans. And Jesus sat with them and taught, but they who followed him were much aggrieved, because he sat with thieves and courtesans. 5. And they upbraided him. They said, Robini, master of the wise, this day will be an evil day for you. 6. The news will spread that you consort with courtesans, and men will shun you as they shun an asp. 7. And Jesus answered them and said, a master never screens himself for the sake of reputation or of fame. 8. These are but worthless baubles of the day. They arise and sink like empty bottles on a stream. They are illusions and will pass away. 9. They are the indices to what the thoughtless think. They are noise that people make, and shallow men judge merit by the noise. 10. Allah and all master men judge by what they are and not what they seem to be, not by their reputation and their fame. 11. These courtesans and thieves are children of my Father, Allah. Their souls are just as precious in his sight as yours or the Brahmic priests. 12. And they are working at the same life sums that you have solved, you men who look at them with scorn. 13. And some of them have solved much harder than you have solved, you men who look at them with scorn. 14. Yes, they are sinners and confess their guilt, while you are guilty but are shrewd enough to have a polished coat to cover up your guilt. 15. Suppose you men who scorn the courtesan, these drunkards and these thieves, who know that you are pure in heart and life, this you are better far than they. Stand forth that men may know just who you are. 16. The sin lies in the wish, in the desire, not in the act. 17. You covet other people's wealth, you look at charming forms, and deep within your heart you lust for them. 18. Deceit you practice every day, and wish for gold, for honor, and for fame, just for your selfish selves. 19. The man who covets is a thief, and she who lusts is a courtesan. You who are none of these, speak out. 20. Nobody spoke, the accusers held their peace. 21. And Jesus said, the proof this day is all against those who have accused. 22. The pure in heart do not accuse. The vile in heart who want to cover up their guilt with holy smoke of piety are never loathing drunkards, thieves, and courtesans. 23. This loathing and this scorn is mockery, for if the tinseled coat of reputation could be torn away, the loud professor would be found to reveal in his lust, deceit, and many forms of secret sin. 24. The man who spends his time in pulling other people's weeds can have